Good morning, Year 7s. Let's have a seat, grab out your books, your notebooks, and a pen, as usual. This should be a very interesting little lesson. Who likes robots? We do. Excellent. This is a little robot. Now, it only has the one little motor, right? But somehow it manages to make all of its wheels move smoothly. Now, without looking inside our little robot, what do we think is happening? There's an engine moving wheels. Yes, absolutely. But we're looking at details. Yeah, good ideas, good ideas, good ideas. We are going to investigate it today. So, by the end of today's lesson, we will be able to identify the driven gear, identify the driving gear, and explain exactly how those gears transfer motion. Now, while some of you might have done some work with robots before in information technologies, we are going to be looking at it from more of a science and engineering point of view. So, you know how in a relay race we have a baton and kind of like this. We've got a baton, right? And the first runner will run the 200 meters and pass the baton to someone else, and they will continue running with it. Gears kind of work in a very similar fashion. So we have already identified the motor, right? It's inside our little robot. Tyler, yes, good. What Tyler has said is that the motor transfers energy to the gears. That is correct. So in a simple fashion, the motor puts energy into that first gear. Here is our first gear, right? That's kind of what it looks like. It's got little teeth. That's what these are called. And it's got the main housing here. Now gears by themselves can just spin freely, right? Just like that. When we put them together, the motor moves that gear for us, right? But we're missing something. The wheels, yes, good job. The wheels are down here, right? There will be a second gear here that transfers energy directly to the wheels. Yes, we do have a second gear right here. So when we have our second gear, it slots in quite nicely. You see how the teeth come together like that? Yes. What do we think happens when the motor moves one gear? What happens to the second gear? It moves, yes, good. Which way does it move? Opposite. Opposite to what? Opposite to the other gear, yes. So if we move the gear this way, so let's say the motor's pushing it down, moving it in a anti-clockwise motion, the second gear will move in the opposite direction, right? So this one's moving this way, this one will move that way. Oops. There, my whiteboard is coming off the wall. Let's fix that quickly. There we go. So the wheels will move in opposition to each other. So the teeth will connect and move opposite, just like these, right? That will then continue to the wheels themselves. So the motor puts energy into one wheel, into the other wheel. So the motor puts energy into one gear, then the second gear, and then the wheels. Now this is the driving gear because the motor is putting energy into this gear. So it is driving this gear. This gear is the driven gear because it is being driven by the driving gear. Does that make sense? Excellent. We're going to go into that a little bit more I can see some confused faces. Yep. Yes. If I can get everyone please to go to the box of gears that is at the front of the classroom and grab yourselves 2 gears and a pegboard so they can move your gears around. Excellent. Thank you.